Hey everybody, Cool Cucumber here at long last bringing you the very first in hopefully a long line of Star Trek Cobble episodes. Please welcome the Kobbled Krew. First up, the person we are missing, Kiwi Burb, who is playing as Lamb Chop the Caitian. Lamb Chop is a security officer and the pronoun that he prefers is he. Next in the Federation, our captain, Elizabeth Joy, would you care to introduce yourself very briefly?
Sure. I'm Elizabeth Joy. I am going to be playing Aya Usara, a Betazoid, grew up in the Federation. Command at Star Academy, and
which pronoun do you prefer? He, she, or they?
She.
Okay. Up next, let's go to the Klingon Empire and start with our tactical officer, Hales. Would you care to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Hales. I'm playing Sheraton Aria, the Bajoran. My gosh, what Adam just said. They, them.
Okay. Sam?
Hi, I'm Sam. I'm playing the Vulcan, Jack. And through a series of misadventures, he has found himself on the homeworld of the Klingon Empire. My preferred pronouns are he.
Okay. Let's hop over to the Romulan Star Empire. I believe Umbra is our science officer.
That would be correct. Hi. Umbra or Justin, whichever you prefer. I'm playing the Vulcan in the Romulan Star Empire, Sulkath. My preferred pronouns are he, and I'll be the science officer.
All right, and our ensign in the Star Empire, Evan Ed.
Hey, I'm Evan. I am playing Brikar, who is a Romulan through and through. So yeah, and he, I guess.
All right, and lastly, but not leastly, the Cardassian Military Alliance. Our Ferengi medical officer, Callista Place.
Hi, my name is Callista. I will be playing Dr. Romega, always Dr. Romega, the Ferengi female, and my pronouns are she, her.
And lastly, but certainly not leastly, the cat that did show up today.
Vipek here. I'll be playing Farasan, named Cress, as security officer, and it's gonna be he.
All right. So, really quick before we jump into it, how about a quick question for each of you? And we'll try to do this rapid fire since we're behind schedule a little bit. So, each of the alien races, one of the things I want to explore is the unspoken culture. Things that you might have heard in passing in the shows for Star Trek, but stuff that's either never focused on because it's not action-oriented or specifically dramatic for whatever plot they chose or because they were short-handed or whatever. And I wanted you to each tell me one thing that we wouldn't know about the alien race you selected. Starting with inverse order, Vitek. Tell us about the Ferocins.
Oh, you did hit me there.
Hello, Button.
Yes, hello, button. Push to talk very hard. So, what to say about the Farasan? Quite engineered cat people. Just bigger cat than our absent Kiwi. Mostly loyal, you could say. Quite trustworthy due to that. They're not really best traitors, you could imagine.
Okay. Up next, I believe that means that Romega who's being played by Callista plays. Tell us something we don't know about the Ferengi.
What to say? I think that what people often forget about the Ferengi is that they're very family orientated in their own little way. There's a lot put on lineage and my father's father and my father's father, all of that. I think I'd like to explore that a little bit.
Just never let family get in the way of opportunity.
Of course, always.
All right, and I believe that means that next up is Evan. Tell us something we don't know about the Romulan people.
So that's a really good question, because I feel like the Romulans are explored more than at least some of the others in the series, but nothing immediately comes to mind. So to sort of make, I don't know. I think it would be kind of interesting, maybe I'll just say this, sort of interesting to explore how they, maybe what Callista just said is how they treat family and stuff like that, because that's something that I as a player don't know super well.
All right. That means next is Umbra. You have a tall order. Tell us something we don't know about the Vulcans.
Well, I don't know if I can so much succeed on a blanket no one knows, but I can definitely give a little interesting tidbit that a lot of people don't know or unaware of, and that Vulcans can grow beards. They just prefer to shave.
It's illogical to have all that extra hair when it's not necessary. It serves no real
But it
purpose
is also-
except that it serves so many purposes. I love my beard.
It's also illogical to shave if you have sensitive skin, would it not?
Love it. So, and the tall order shifts. Sam?
Gosh, yeah, you're giving us the hard questions here at the beginning. So at least for my character, what I'd like to explore, at least for Jack, is the difference between both family honor and then personal freedom, and how that role plays into it, especially when you have to do the logical explanation of everything.
Okay, so that means that next is Arya. If I remember correctly, you wanted to explore Bajoran culture and what her traditions mean to her. So, that should be a fairly easy question for you to answer, Hales. Tell us something about the Bajorans that we don't already know.
Yes. They do every year where they write down like their hopes and dreams for the year, and they go and like burn the paper, and it's like to them. Many times she's actually done that because of the takeover, but you know, other stuff too, like they're big scholars, and they if they had been given the chance, they would have come up with like their own technologies and stuff like that. So they are.
You cut out a bit over that, but I think I got the gist of it. We're good. Okay, so next would be our captain. Tell us something we don't know about the people of Beta Z.
So one thing that I found really interesting, how they place on because so connected. So someone's intention, or you can still feelings and about, and so when I was doing research, I just found that really interesting and felt like that wasn't really explored. The
All right.
goes of like very important, and being clear and concise in what you say.
Okay. All right. So, wow. What was that? No.
Was something.
Let's get ready for some actual RP. Are you guys good with that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
that's fantastic.
Since our resident Cation Kiwi is not here, I'm going to start with the Klingon Empire. Specifically, I'm going to start with Sam. You, or I should say Jack, is living in a Klingon, fairly low-income housing type of area in the capital city on Klonos. Ordinarily, this kind of area would be a nest for crime, it would be very dangerous, but considering the least honorable, least aggressive Klingons are put here, it's extremely safe for you. Describe to us your early morning, please.
Well, the most logical option is to first take care of your mind body. So, you wake up early in the morning, you have a nice breakfast, balanced, to ensure that you get all the essential vitamins and nutrients, and then you start your calisthenic workout for the day. Something very light, just to keep you in shape and limber up for the day ahead. And then you meditate. What are your goals for today? What are you going to do? How are you going to accomplish them? And the like. And then you're ready to go.
Alright, so as you're finishing up your brief calisthenics, you hear a pounding on your door. This is a familiar pounding. It sounds like an angry Klingon, which is basically a normal Klingon who's not drunk.
Oh dear, it looks like I have to deal with someone again. Is there a peephole through the door, which I can, at least, get a good experience of what I'm about to see?
I don't imagine one was originally installed, but it'd be illogical to not add one, so I'll give you the peephole.
Lovely. I look through the peephole just to see what there is.
There's a Klingon standing outside of your door, repeatedly pounding on the door even as you look through the peephole. This is a Klingon that you know by the name of Kmacht. He is basically a disgraced general. Not completely without honor, he still functions within the Klingon military, but he's been demoted a few times. He was more of along the lines of a fleet admiral a few years ago.
Okay. How good of a relationship do I have with him?
He always wants to fight you, and you never want to fight him back.
Seems reasonable. Okay, so I wait just for the fist to pound when I quickly open the door, seeing if I can catch him off balance a little.
Ah!
Why, hello there. It seems illogical to break this door.
Logic? Well, you like logic so much, we have a logical problem that must be dealt with. A female alien keeps on battering and bruising young Academy entrants, and we need her to be dealt with. She's gained considerable honor up to this point and could easily join a ship, but she seems reluctant for some reason.
Very interesting, because usually, as soon as you gain enough honor, you want to do the logical and honorable thing of joining a ship to gain even more honor.
Exactly.
Do you happen to know why? Or is she waiting for something?
I think it may have been more... I don't know! Just, please, deal with this woman!
Very well. Can you lead me to the way?
She's in the sparring hall. He just points. I assume you're intelligent enough to know the way, Vulcan.
Yes, but I also know that the sparring hall has many doors. Do you know which one she usually frequents?
A door.
Very
You can
well.
tell he's losing his patience. What little he had.
Fine, then I will be off. I grab my assorted keys and make sure I double check, make sure everything's locked, and head out.
I'm sorry. That's really funny.
Well, you gotta make sure everything's locked up, especially because it'd be illogical to let just anyone wander into your home.
Okay, so you make your way down to the sparring hall, and sure enough, Arya is in the middle of humiliating one of the Klingon instructors who thought it would be wise to cause trouble for her.
Is this at the point where I know her yet, or?
You have not met Arya up to this point.
Well, is it still in the middle of battle, or is she done and just over humiliation?
She is just humiliating him at this point. Like shoe in the side of the neck, putting pressure on a key artery, arm twisted up above her head.
Yes, shall I describe what I look like?
Sure.
Yes, that would be most beneficial.
Okay, I am 5'7", and I have pretty defined muscles, like I do regular workouts, not just humiliating these silly Klingons. I'm very flexible. I've got like this shortish black hair, and at the moment, as Adam has described, I'm just like owning this man. And as I like pull back to do a fake out, I like hit him in the kneecaps, and he like falls on the ground.
Well,
and
young
I'm
miss.
wearing like the regular Klingon like armor and the ceremonial like dagger and stuff. Like I right clothes to be in the Klingon.
Should I describe Jax as well?
I think in this moment, since you are both meeting for the first time, that would be very beneficial.
Alright, well, just think of very stereotypical Vulcan, and that's basically Jack, except he's got a few notable features, like his hair is turning white despite his very young age, and his eyes are very pale, especially for a Vulcan. But, you know, typical bowl cut, average height, about a little over 6 foot, you know, a little brownish skin. Yeah. Young miss, why have you continued to humiliate this poor person, despite, you know, already clearly winning and winning all the honor you can? There's no honor in beating down a ragged dog.
At this point, you hear from the Klingon, "She hasn't won yet! I haven't surrendered! Kill me, woman!"
Oh no, you see, you have lost. That would be dishonorable to just beat a ragged dog.
Out of character, remind me, like, do these battles end with death for honor?
They don't, for training purposes, they don't normally. But every once in a while, one does. This, however, is one of the instructors, and being defeated, you would probably not want to continue to live with the humiliation of being defeated by a small female alien.
So Arya will give Vulcan a side glance, and she will be like, right. And she'll like...
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Oh, she says, perhaps you are right, like, because you said, like, don't kill him, so what she'll do instead, the hilt of her, like, slam it really hard into his head to knock him out.
Okay. Why don't you roll 2d20 for me?
Rolls.
Oh man, the first dice roll.
You can roll physical dice if you want.
Into that.
What?
2d20, right?
Yes, please.
And a 12.
All I heard was and a 12.
Check roll 20. I'll put my rolls there.
Okay. 2 and a 12. That is 2 successes. The Klingon is knocked out.
Dagger put it back in its sheath, and she will, spectators and be like, we'll actually have work to do today, but any more takers?
One of the students enthusiastically starts pointing at the new Vulcan. The Vulcans are supposed to be strong! Why don't you fight him? He seems interested.
It would be illogical to fight. It serves no purpose.
All of the students slowly turn their heads towards Jack with this expression of disbelief on their face. And then the disbelief turns to disgust. Then they turn back to Arya.
Oh, well, clearly today's, finished. Back. And she'll say, haven't seen you around.
Yes, I
Before?
was peacefully minding my own morning ritual, and then I heard about this situation. He gestures to the poor instructor, still knocked out on the ground.
Like, well, it's daily life.
Yes,
The
but
way of Klingons to
yes, but
earn honor.
yes, but you know, there's only so much honor you can earn here on the homeworld. What you really want to do is find a starship. Why haven't you done that yet?
Want a starship, obviously. To start at a teeny tiny position, I'm captain material.
Yes, but you still need to earn the trust and respect of your crew. If you're just here just beating up people and for no reason, or even if they are higher position, it's just, you know, nonsense. You're beating up someone clearly weaker than you. Wouldn't you want to go after someone who is slightly stronger than you? Isn't that more honorable?
As you say, clearly weaker than you, like a gurgled moan comes out of the Klingon instructor.
I'm surprised no one's actually taken him to the infirmary yet.
What's up? He can take himself. Should be able to walk.
I'm glad that you left him with life and, well, he'll be hurting for a while, but I'm glad he's going to be okay in the
Also, look over and she'll be like, starts with instructor. Found word of mouth, you know. Hire people, maybe. Little bit. See me, they're like, oh, you're tiny. Thanks.
But they clearly have misjudged you if all of your enemies fall before you.
She'll smirk.
With that, a very short Gorn, probably a Gorn with some thread of or strand of dwarfism, approaches the center of the arena. They disrespected you, alien female. Just because we are smaller than they doesn't mean that we cannot kill. A small hand holds a disruptor just as well as a large one. Perhaps you would like to book passage on my vessel. I cannot make you the captain yet, for I do not have the call, but I think you would make a fine tactical officer. In position to kill the captain and usurp should he show sign of weakness.
She asked him what his name was.
I am Salatar. and I am a Gorn.
She will at the hall, and she'll be like, my best interest to take this offer are getting rather boring to fight.
Jax would quietly whisper within her ear and say, be careful. Places that you can easily rise to captain can easily be taken away from you.
She'll slide her gaze over to him and be like, to take it and...
Yes, but what if one day someone plots against you?
It would be their mistake, but I suppose it shall happen eventually.
Be careful. It would be disheartening to lose such a fine young candidate.
At Solitar, she'll be like, there are openings on your ship. Perhaps it would do me good to keep this one around. And she'll look at him and be like, oh yes, what is your name?
I am Jack.
And she'll be like, well, Jack.
Sorry, I didn't catch just the last bit.
That's because I trailed off. She says, well, perhaps together would be interesting. And she'll kind of look at him and be like,
Unfortunately, I have business to attend here, but in the future, you could find me. Because is there a lovely way of concisely inputting information in an easy-to-read format? He hands her a business card.
what does it say and what does it look like?
It is just plain black, black text on a white background. Just says Jack's phone number to reach me at, and current mailing address that will get to me. And on the back, like a, I guess, futuristic email address. Different ways of contacting me.
With that, Solitar addresses Jax. You are a Vulcan, correct?
Yes, on assignment from higher ups.
So, Vulcans go places to study, correct?
Yes. Do you have something interesting to study? Jax is clearly very interested, despite the Vulcan reservedness.
Perhaps life aboard a Klingon vessel, and one not captained by a Klingon.
Oh, not captained by a Klingon, you say? Who's the current captain?
My brother.
Oh, so, do you have something against your brother, or...?
No. I know that he will only try to recruit other Gorn. And I believe that there is advantage in diversity.
I see. Then, why did you try to recruit young Arya over here? She, is a bit more, violent.
I have already recruited the young Arya. I am also trying to recruit you as well, Vulcan.
Quick question. What have I been given an assignment on the Vulcan home? I mean the Klingon home world that I must attend to, or am I just in standby mode?
The way a lot of Federation assignments work is that you're given a general task, and then you seek out the ends of that task. For example, it might be to explore X unit of space. X unit of space, you find a supernova or a star that's ready to go supernova, so you study that. So your mission might simply be to study the Klingons.
Okay, and lovely. Okay, so what other people have you recruited, since it would just be the Gorn or other people?
Most of the members of the ship are Gorn, ex-members of the Hegemony and mercenaries. However, there are many Klingons and a few Nausicaans as well.
Interesting. What is your course of travel?
Heading yet undecided. We are awaiting our mission.
And the mission comes from Klingon Command?
The mission comes from where it will come from. We serve many. There is honor to be found in battle, and glory to be gained in claiming territory should it become available.
I see. My main focus is engineering. Do you still have an opening for an engineer?
5.
I see, and I hope that at least Engineering Command does not follow a barbaric scheme. I hope it's value to the one who is the best engineer.
Best engineer should still be a warrior, but yes.
Of course. You need to defend yourself, of course.
Always. And with that, I am going to close the Klingon starting arc. That took a little bit longer than I had planned, but it was still enjoyable. And we're going to move on to While I Can See the Captain, Elizabeth Joy. Can you speak for me?
I hope this lasts. Can you also hear me?
I can. We'll have to retro do Kiwis. Because where you're starting, you are both in different areas.
Okay.
So, currently, Nyaya is serving as the first officer on the USS Friesland, the ship that was attacked that had her mother on it. Your parents have disembarked and returned to Beta Z some months ago, but you stayed on and have risen through the ranks and become a first officer. You're currently heading back to Starfleet so that you can so you can take your captain's exams. And you are passing through Wolf 309. There are 3 other ships near you. A Klingon cruiser, a Federation Galaxy-class ship, actually the USS Galaxy, and one other vessel, a Constellation class. All of a sudden, red alerts sound all over your ship. One of the ensigns has detected an unknown transwarp signature, something only theoretically possible. How does Nyaya react to this?
It goes stations, so goes to the bridge. The first thing there is can confirm what the ensign saw, confirm that it actually is transwarp, because like you said, that's only theoretically possible.
If it's not transwarp, then it's something else you've never seen before. So, how do you react to hearing possible theoretical transwarp signatures? You are in Wolf 359, also known as the Alpha Centauri system.
So, 2 things. Is there a role I can make of the traumatic event in possibility she might panic?
Nothing traumatic has happened
Or
just
do
yet.
you want me to just...
really want to punch Discord right now. Just punch it
Me
really
too.
hard. If we
Me
could
too.
just play ads to have a stable app, that would be great.
Be fantastic. So what was your answer to that?
I said there hasn't really nothing traumatic's necessarily happened yet. It's not related to what happened in her backstory.
Okay. To that, but it's not related to that. Got it. So in that case, then, is there any way what type of vessel it is? Has it, or do I just need to wait till it gets closer to us?
Well, you were planning on waiting for it to get closer, but surprise, it's here. A massive cube-shaped starship that looks like a circuit board, for lack of a better description, with green and blue diodes lighting the surface, has been detected. It is almost half the size of Earth's moon. And it is
Okay.
hailing you.
Answer the hail. Simultaneously, what sort of emotions am I getting from that ship?
You are getting two distinct emotional variants from the cube. One, a cacophony of anger, fear, chaos, and pain, and two, emptiness, void, an absence of emotion, simultaneously. You've never sensed anything like this, even when sensing hive minds.
So, answer the hail.
You answer the hail, and the captain orders to put it on screen. And you see, at first, what looks like Captain Picard. Then he turns his head, and you see that some kind of a mechanical disease has taken what looks to be his body. Lower your shields and surrender your vessel. Prepare for assimilation. Resistance is and always has been futile. Now this is traumatic.
Is the captain of the ship to respond, or does the captain respond?
The captain is a Vulcan. I think it would be highly illogical to lower shields. Send extra energy, reinforce the shields. Some of the other ships, starting with the Klingon, engage the Borg cube. And several more Federation and Klingon ships appear on the battlefield. They're all cut to ribbons. There is no resistance. Resistance really is utterly futile. The Borg cube seems to ignore your ship, however. But it plots a new heading. Sector 001, the Sol System, Earth. What do you do?
Well, I'm the first officer, is panicked. So there's a brief moment where she just kind of freezes.
While we've got this going, let's go to Romulus. Currently, Sulcat is wandering the streets of the Romulan capital, studying the local people, the fauna and flora, as he might do, when he is approached by a Riemann, a friend of his. Jete.
Sorry, come again.
Jete. Sulkath! I'm surprised I was able to find you here. You have to help us.
Is something the matter?
The new senator. The new senator doesn't believe in maintaining Riemann slave labor. It might seem beneficial, but instead they're going to simply start executing me and my people. My children will die, Sulkath.
That,
Talshiar sent me.
that's definitely an issue. Alright, who would I talk to for this?
He kind of shakily hands you a small card.
I'll take it.
The message is hidden. A normal Romulan could never uncover it. The Talshiar will need your help.
It's a good thing that I'm not normal then, I guess.
I need to hide. Please,
You do that.
hurry.
I look at the card.
And Jeta scurries off. The card seems to have no markings on it whatsoever when you look at it plainly.
Well, I put it, I start investigating it under other sources of light and absence of light. Ultraviolet, darkness, you know.
Okay. Most forms of light don't seem to make a message appear, but when you get the idea to expose it to different types of radiation, microwaves seem to make a very faint message appear. A message that a Romulan still wouldn't be able to make out with their naked eyes, but as a Vulcan you can. It is an address. Upon further investigation, this address is in the middle of a forest.
So, like, coordinates.
Yes. But it's written down as an address. It's just that that address shouldn't exist because it should be a forest.
Alright. If that's the case, then I would immediately head there.
Alright. When you pass through the first layer of trees, the forest disappears. You see tall Shi'ar flags flying on nearly every single building in this small section of city.
And the precise location of the coordinates I received would be...
What looks like a Capitol building.
I'll head right in
Similar to the
there.
Earth's White House.
I'll head right in there.
Alright. I'm going to jump over to Ricard. Ricard, you are currently in that building, speaking with one Admiral Sela.
Okay.
This mission is very important for the Tal Shi'ar. Not only will this senator get rid of all of our Riemann subjects, something that is highly unforgivable and extremely unprofessional, but the senator is weak as well, and will cause ties between the Tal Shi'ar and the Star Empire to strain. We can't afford to give that up, I'm sure you agree.
Absolutely. The question is, what do we do about it? I assume that you have some kind of skeleton of a plan, at least.
She takes a small disruptor out of her pocket and puts it on the table. Then she presses a button on said disruptor, and it turns invisible.
Fancy.
Is that enough of a skeleton for you? It only works once. Once it is fired, it will never be able to cloak ever again.
All right. Well, I will keep that in mind.
And with that, Sulkath walks into the building. Ah, good. I knew that it would be important to find those who weren't loyal to the senator, one of our own agents, most trusted, and an outsider, someone with no ties to the Senate whatsoever. Sulkath, I presume? Sela, the leader of the Tal Shiar, addresses you.
That would be correct. Is there some reason for all of this interesting developments to be occurring all at once?
Well, of course, as you know, it is time for the election. And the senator that is winning the election, that is about to be selected, will cause significant damage to Romulus through several different layers of weakness.
You mean like genocide?
For starters.
Well, that is the part that I'm concerned about.
Do you know why we keep the Remans on Remus? Why we continue to employ their aid? She's trying very hard to use any word besides slave or slavery.
I can think of a few reasons, but I'm pretty sure that you have an agenda here, so you may continue with it.
Dilithium is very difficult to mine. It's very hazardous. The Federation needed Vulcan machines to do it effectively. The Klingons usually take it from their victims. The Cardassians? Frankly, we're not sure, and we don't quite care how they get it. But we use very delicate Reman hands from the mines.
Understood. And I'm willing to guess that that is the problem that you're concerned about instead of the loss of life and information.
Information more so than life. But, yes, our resources and our empire must be the primary concern of the Romulan people.
I can understand that, even if it may not perfectly align with my tastes. It is exactly what I would attempt to do in this situation. What is it you'll have me do then?
I need you to walk into the Romulan Senate under the dark of night and plot out every single corridor, all of the guard movements, so that Ricard can walk in the following night and pull the trigger on our troublesome senator.
That's all you need?
It should be a fairly quick operation. I did say he is weak.
Well, that I can handle. When would you like me to get started?
With that, the sun finishes setting. Immediately, Sulkath, the Vulcan.
The last part was entirely unnecessary, but I will be on my way.
She cracks her knuckles and waits for you to leave. Please roll 2d20 to determine how well you scout out the building once you arrive. You can roll on roll 20, you can use physical dice, whatever suits your fancy.
I'll do roll 20. Oof, 9 and a 1.
That is a critical success and a success.
Remember
they're
rolling good.
immersed in Star Trek Adventures.
Hello is very good.
So
Okay.
you get pretty much the perfect layout of that building. Down to the last inconsequential room. You don't even forget to map like the boiler room.
Well, I mean, that might come in handy.
It might. You also managed to get all of the guard patterns down pretty much perfectly.
Much appreciated.
And you acquire the knowledge that there has been a severe cutting of the guard, as all of the Tal Shiar guards that were once guarding the Central Palace have mysteriously gone off duty. Or not so mysteriously, as you know. Alright.
Mysteriously.
You leave the building, and it is now Rickar's turn the following night. How do you sneak into the facility? You know the guard patterns, so you know how to stay out of sight. But you still have to be quiet. Roll 2d20 for me.
Alright.
Your background gives you advantage, so
5 and 7.
that is 2 passes. 2 successes. Excuse me. So, fairly stealthily, you manage to slip into the senator's main office. Essentially, imagine the Oval Office from the White House, but with a lot more green and a lot more Romulan insignias.
Okay.
You are in the room when the senator and her armed guard enter the room. How do you hide?
There's a single guard.
There are 2 guards,
2 guards.
a male and a female.
Okay, and can you describe sort of the room, what's in the room?
It's roughly about 100 feet in diameter. It's fairly large, and there are lots of senatorial seats that are currently unoccupied. You can also assume that this doubles as a main council chamber.
Okay, I guess try and... Are there any, like, shadows in the corner that would remain shadows even if the lights are off? Can I tell that?
There aren't really any shadows, but there are curtains you could potentially hide behind.
I'll try that.
Okay. You scamper over to the curtains, and please roll me 2d20.
2 and 7.
Another 2 successes. The guards escort the senator into the room. You hear the male say, "Please take a seat, Your Highness. We will return with the remainder of the honored guard very shortly." As he turns to leave, you can identify a Talshiar pin on the back of his right shoulder.
Okay, cool. I will... what's the other one doing?
The other one's leaving with him.
Okay. I will wait until they step out of the room then.
It doesn't take them long.
And then pop out and try to fire before he notices me. So I'll try and like sneak as close as I can to get a better shot.
I'll
But
give you an
it's-
advantage, but I need you to roll 2d20.
All right. 1 in 18.
That is
So
1
the-
success versus 1 success.
So,
So
the
roll
one
again.
is the 1 a 2 success.
That is
Has it-
correct. Thank you for that help. Yes, you got 2 successes versus 1 success. Because your backstory gives you an advantage in espionage.
Okay. Cool. So I guess I just pull out the disruptor and pull the
Pull out the
trigger.
disruptor, and the senator is no more. About 3 seconds later, you hear a scream from the hallway, and the other guard comes rushing into the room. But there is no senator to be found.
So the other guard is the one that did not have the tall Shiar pin.
Yes, the female guard, the one that did not have the pin for the Talshiar, has re-entered the room. They don't see you yet because they're trying to find the senator, where the senator should be, and there's just kind of a pile of ashes where the senator was.
Any windows or anything like where the curtains were?
There are windows, but they're up high. They're above the curtains.
Okay.
I know that's technically not a curtain, but I don't know the word for that.
Right. I will see if I can hide again.
Okay.
So pop back.
I
in
will
behind
give you an
him.
advantage if you try to hide again.
Yeah.
And you're
Should
not
I-
going to need it. Because I
roll
rolled a
again.
critical failure. I rolled a 20.
All right. Well, whatever. 3 and 14.
That guard, the one who managed to kill a Tal Shiar operative, is pretty shaken. And now grasping the full severity of the situation, isn't really looking for you. Instead, she's just trying to find a way to get out of the situation. She assumes that she'll be blamed. Which is accurate.
Okay, so does she seem to be leaving the room then, or what is she doing?
She's sitting at one of the senator chairs and just kind of holding her head in her hands, trying to figure out some way out of this mess.
Does it seem to me feasible that I might be able to sneak out without her noticing? Or is that pretty hopeless?
It's possible, but it would be extremely difficult. You're very far ways away from the door.
Right. Fair enough. I guess I will try to sneak, but be ready to fire just
Okay.
The disruptor will shoot again, it just won't cloak anymore, right?
Yes, it is a normal disruptor now.
Okay. So I will try to sneak.
Okay, I rolled 1 success. Roll 2d20, bud.
10 and 12.
Oh, you are spotted.
Alright, then I will...
You! She starts reaching for her disruptor.
Yeah, I will try and beat her to it.
Okay. Just roll 1d20. Higher number wins.
16.
I got a 12. Since we're going higher number wins, that means that you got the disruptor first. Your disruptor was still set to kill, so she was vaporized.
Okay, I guess in that case I will try to sneak back out of the building.
After you get out of the room, you see several armed guards, most of them wearing Tal Shiar pins, walking down towards the Oval Office, for lack of a better word. The Senator room. They seem to be intentionally distracting the other guards for you, meaning that this is a 0 difficulty challenge for you to continue to sneak out of the rest of the building.
Okay, sweet. I don't need to do anything then, right?
Well, we're done with the Romulans, and now all that is left is the Cardassians. Vitek and Callista plays. It is your turn to Cardassian. Cress and Ramiga, you are both vaguely aware of the other's existence because you are both mercenaries of a sort. A medical mercenary and a physical mercenary. And you have been hired to board the CMA Tenacity. How do you get ready for this meeting? As you are both non-Cardassians, you can both assume there will be a lot of discrimination against you.
Romika is very used to this, so she's just gonna pack up all of her stuff, which isn't much, and she's just gonna tell us it'll just be like home.
Okay, and Cress?
Cress will also pack its hat and remember the moment he got forcibly transferred. So it will probably be similar to that.
Alright. So, the Tenacity is currently in a dry dock, so you have to be shuttled up to a Cardassian space station.
Quick thing, a shuttle, not a transport, a shuttle, right?
Yes, a shuttlecraft. You could be teleported, but you're not first-class citizens, so you have to wait. And on the shuttlecraft, you both see each other. Describe for the other how you look.
Romiga is wearing the, quite generic for... I'm not entirely sure what Cardassian uniforms look like, but she's wearing the standard issue doctor's uniform. She's got a small bag with her, and she just looks like a generic Ferengi, effectively. Orange skin, very large ears, beady little eyes that stare out at the world.
And Vitek?
And Chris, pretty much probably the only for us in there, maybe not the only one, but one of the few. Quite tall, around 6 feet, red-haired, furred. Yes. With few scars, I think with quite a distinctive feature of 2 different colored eyes, one being blue, the other one being a bit of a brownish golden color.
Okay. So, do you two choose to interact on the way to the ship?
Romiga will walk up to Cress, and she's probably a great deal shorter than he is, so she's just going to kind of tug at the clothing around his elbow and just say, "Come on, big guy."
Cress will just look kind of down. Oh, there you are.
Why are we standing around? Come on, let's go. She just starts walking off. Just expect him to follow.
Okay.
Wait.
There is a service ramp up to the Tenacity. At the top of the Tenacity is a type of alien that only Romiga has ever seen before. An alien that looks like this. Are you seeing her?
Yep.
The first 2 up the service ramp are a pair of Cardassians. They look like troublemakers. They honestly look like they shouldn't be in any military, but they're in this one. And one of them starts to attempt to flirt with the Andorian.
Okay. Does she look uncomfortable?
She looks extremely uncomfortable.
Romy gives a quick upward sideways glance at Cress, kind of not verbally asking, but looking at him like, "Are you going to do anything about this, or shall I?"
So while you're doing that, one of the Cardassians reaches out and tries to pat the Andorian's rear. She grabs his wrist, twists his arm up over his head, breaks his elbow in 3 places, then kicks in one of his shins.
I don't think so. I need to do anything.
Get on the ship. And she throws him up the rest of the ramp into the ship. She looks down at the service ramp and sees Romiga. Ah, another female. It's about time. I suppose you could say, since you are a Ferengi, that this would be the 3rd rule of acquisition. Never pay more for an acquisition than you have to. I think he paid quite a bit more. I assume you'll entertain him in the medical bay, as you look like our new doctor.
I am. And I will. Definitely.
By the way, what is your name, Ferengi?
Dr. Romiga.
I am Asero Zitharek.
Does the name ring any bells? to me.
It does not. You have never met this woman before, but I assume that you like her.
Yeah.
She looks up at Cress. If you think that just because you're taller than me, that I can't do the same thing to you, big kitty, you'd be mistaken. You'd better get on the ship too.
Yep. Chris has been fine being ignored. Yeah.
I'm just imagining this
Just
big cat
scuttle
slowly
over.
shuffling anime style into the ship.
Exactly.
Okay, and if Elizabeth Joy is available, we can try the Federation again. Because that is the end of the Cardassian. Very
Hello.
brief. Okay. Hello. I
Hello.
hear you and see you. It's a miracle. A Christmas miracle, even.
Hey.
Except that a Borg cube just destroyed 39 ships at Wolf 359, and you're the one surviving ship.
Uh-huh. We were.
How do you react to this?
Ah! Something akin to that is what's happening internally.
So internal screaming, external
Yes.
calm.
Yes. Very much. I, as a player, am not sure how battle-tested this ship is, but obviously nothing to this extent, so very much speaking in a calm voice, trying to just keep the emotions at a minimum, but also obviously being Betazoid, being bombarded by everyone else's emotions.
Lots of
But
panic.
Yeah, trying to keep her voice very even, sort of repeating whatever the captain's orders are. Yeah, trying to keep peace.
Okay, the captain has ordered a standby. More specifically, he has ordered the ship to hide. Even losing ourselves in addition to possibly losing the Earth won't help anybody. It's obvious we're no match for that vessel.
How does the rest crew, again, just surface
There is
feelings, I'm not probing, but how
There
do
is
they
a
react?
dissent. There's definitely a divide. The captain, a lot of the crew agree with him, and some of them agree with him, but also they want to fight.
Want to fight. I would like to. If I'm near any of the ones who are sort of spoiling for a fight, I would just like to approach and just simply say, sometimes it's wiser to run and hide so that we can save more lives. There'll be another day to fight.
The Tellarite communications officer, who was the one spoiling for the fight, leave it to a Betazoid to run and hide. Leave it to a Vulcan to run away and use logic to explain it. You're both cowards, you're both useless. Remember, Tellarites are argumentative by nature.
Yes. In which case, I'm going to just say, fighting a battle that's going to lead to your destruction is not just illogical, foolish, and it prevents us from fighting to protect those we care about and to protect those who would destroy our culture.
You yield an interesting debate, First Officer.
One I would love to engage in when we're not on red alert.
Very well. Captain, what do you suggest we do? The moons of Centauri. We can attempt to crash land the ship onto one of them. And we can use the shields to mask our life signs. If that thing comes back, we'll be well hidden. Do you have any ideas, First Officer, or any objections to this?
No. Mostly because my AA is trying to sort through everyone's emotions right now and is not necessarily thinking super strategically and like what might be a better plan. So she just kind of nods in agreement with the captain.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
So the Vulcan captain orders for the ship to be taken down onto one of the Centauri moons. And the ensign who was piloting the ship rolled 2 failures.
Oh.
So the ship hits the moon quite a bit harder than was initially planned. In the crash, a piece of pipe is sent up and through the chest of the captain. The captain is down. How do you feel, Captain?
So the first thing that flashes through my mind is her mom on a stretcher, not mentally there.
Yeah.
So she kind of shakes herself, orders, calls for medical aid. This is Commander Yusara. The captain has previously injured on the bridge.
So the emergency teleporters are used, and the chief medical officer appears. Just green blood is leaking everywhere. And the Andorian doctor, the one who actually replaced your own mother, who was cured by your mother, feels the captain's pulse. There's nothing that we can do. The damage is too great. Even a prosthetic heart wouldn't be able to save him.
Very well. See to the other injured crew members, if there are any.
We're already on it.
Yep. I will enact the captain's plan of, using our shield, masking our life signs. Make sure that has happened.
All right. As you do that, you see a new ship appear in the system.
Can it be identified?
Easily. It's the Enterprise.
Okay. I will put out a hail.
The hail is responded by, "Hello, I'm Commander Riker, current acting captain of the USS Enterprise."
Yes, this is... And there's like a brief hesitation. Captain Yusara, we attempted to land as a means of hiding and protecting ourselves, and our ship was damaged quite a bit.
You hear a Klingon speaking in the background. "Commander, I'm afraid there's no time for this. The Borg vessel was on a direct course for Earth." "Indeed, Captain. We are fairly far behind the vessel. I don't think that we can catch it before it reaches the planet. But if we can get there shortly thereafter, perhaps we can make a difference."
Very well. Understood. Good luck.
And the Federation chapter minus Kiwi goes to a close. I'll try to catch Kiwi back up with what happens on Earth.
Ah!
So, I hope you all enjoyed this. There were a lot of technical difficulties, a lot of struggles, but I think we all got everything situated. So
I
until
love it so
next
much.
time, everybody say it with me: live long and prosper,
Long and prosper.
Live long and
Hey.
prosper.
and stay cool.
You dig?